Very good morning to everyone. Before I start, I would like to ask you a question. How many of you have seen tigers in the wild? And how many would like to conserve tigers for future generations? If you could just lift your hand, I can see almost everybody would like to conserve tigers for future generations. That's what I have come here for today. And as I take you forward on this, just to give a brief background, I work in wildlife conflict management, handling tigers, leopards, tigers which kill people, we deal with them. So, with this background, I'll just take you through some real life incidents. And it was when we got our, in the 20th century, at the turn in the early 1900s, we had about 1 lakh tigers in India. And this figure came down to around 20,000 when we got our independence. And 25 years down the line, when in 1972, we were left with about 1,400 and odd tigers. So this was a very alarming situation. We were almost on the verge of losing our tiger population. Government of India came up with a Project Tiger. 9 tiger reserves were set up, and all measures were taken to protect the tigers. So this was a very positive step, and the tigers' numbers started to rebound. Now there was one serious lapse in this project. Every tiger that increased would proportionately need, like for example, a male tiger would need 35 square kilometers of forest, and a female tigress would require about 10 square kilometers of forest. And proportionately, every tiger would need 52 animals for it to feed on in a year. That is one animal per week. So initially everything went fine, but as the tiger numbers went up, there was constraint for space. There was fighting among the tigers for space. Number of animals which it required was not sufficient, and this led to tigers moving out from the forest into other areas. Now, I'll just take you through this graph. Now, you see the tiger reserve, the area marked in the green. That is the most appropriate place for the tigers to be. That has the SOPs, that is regulated. There is no human activity here. Everything is perfect. It's the perfect ambience for tigers. But there is also a buffer zone where there is a possibility for these tigers to move out and coexist, because in the buffer zone you have houses and people as well. So this buffer area, as the name suggests, that can accommodate the houses and can have some kind of a overlap between humans and the wildlife. Now the problem is, when the orange zone, if you see, this has only human habitation. There's no scope for wildlife here. Now when our tiger numbers started going up from the core area, from the tiger reserve, they moved on to the buffer areas, and from the buffer areas they have gone on to the human habitated areas. Now there is a people say that, there are encroachments, forests have been occupied, but you see the tiger reserve, that can never be occupied by any human. No human activity can happen there. That's purely for tigers. So now when animals move out into this zone, that's where the conflict starts. Now if you see India's population, which was 24 crores at the turn of the 20th century, and it became 35 crores. And today we are at 145 crore people. So, that concept of shared boundaries where people will coexist, that is not possible today. The tiger is our national animal, it's our national treasure, it needs all the protection, and we cannot have it at the mercy of local people feeding on cattle and moving around. Unfortunately, today, more than about 1,000 tigers are in this zone. You see the orange zone? So, there's nothing for them to eat. They have to depend on cattle. They are always being chased by people. Imagine yourself, just imagine if you don't have a home, if you have nothing to eat, if somebody is chasing you all the time, what state of mind would you be in? So that is the state of 30% of about 30% of India's tigers today. So this is a very sad situation, sad state of affairs, and that's why I'm here to enlighten you about this, because these realities normally never see the light of day. It's normally not spoken about. Now, one such incident I would like to share with you, where a tigress had come into human habitation here in the orange zone. It was way back in April 2015 in Yavatmal district of Maharashtra, where one fine morning in April, there were about 4 cattle found dead. Now, cattle is a sacred animal for the local communities. They are kept in the houses, they are treated like part of the family. Villagers were furious. What have gone wrong? They marched to the forest office, camera traps were installed, and then a beautiful tigress in her prime appeared in the scene. Now, we can't blame the tigress also, because that was not a tiger reserve. That was not a place for the tiger to be. Tigress was a stranger in strange land, and this people had to come up with this harsh reality of having to live with a tiger. Now, first 4 kills, then another few cattle kill, because tiger had to survive, so it kept killing. In a matter of time, there were 100 cattle killed. Before the villagers could come to reality with this situation, in June 2016, the first human kill. An elderly woman, Sona Bhai, who had not gone into any forest, she was making her living by plucking cotton in an agricultural field. She got killed. When she didn't return home, her daughter came searching for her and found her mother's lifeless body, fully clawed with punctured neck. That was a turning point. Hell broke loose. Kill after kill, kill after kill. 3 years. Now, just to give you a brief background, what does the law of the land say? The Wildlife Protection Act. It is very clear. When an animal becomes dangerous to human life, Section 11, when an animal becomes dangerous to human life or property, it can be eliminated by an order in writing. Now, what I would like to convey is that when a tiger has become a man-eater and it's become dangerous to the society, there has to be some time frame. 3 years cannot be justified. You have a time frame. Now, for this tigress, there were 12 tranquilizing attempts which failed. Cages were installed. Everything in the book was tried out. But the tigress always proved to be a step smarter, managed to evade all the human attempts. After 10 human incidents, the chief wildlife warden, who's the head of the wildlife wing, he issued an order in writing that this tigress has to be eliminated. Subsequently, the following day, so-called wildlife activists, they believe that these are chance encounters. Encounter can be one, can be two, cannot be 10 chance encounters. They went to court and managed to get a stay order on the shoot order issued. Now, the life of 21,000 people whose only source of livelihood was agriculture, they couldn't go into the fields. 3 years, there was a lockdown. Their life was in jeopardy once again. With this order coming in, 4 more innocent lives were lost. Now, who's to be blamed for this? That's a question that I leave it to you all. Subsequently, when everything was tried out, nothing worked, we received a letter from a senior forest officer of Maharashtra department. The letter said that everything has been tried out. People are furious. Law and order breakdown. So many human kills have happened. We require your services. Now, just to give a brief background about us, I'm the 4th generation who works in this. My great-grandfather was an advisor to British government on handling wildlife conflict. So my father, Nawab Shafat Ali Khan, and myself, we joined this operation. When we reached the spot, the first person we came across was a sorrowful lady with her 2 school-going daughters. They came and stood next to me. Seeing their face, I knew something was wrong. So they came and told me, brother, we have lost our husband. We are poor people. He was the only bread earner of our family. What do we do? How do we live? And later I came to know her mother, who was a homemaker, she has taken up labor jobs, day-to-day, daily wages labor jobs to take care of her daughters. So my only request is, when we have a situation like this, when people's life is paralyzed, there has to be some logic, some timeline, law of the land. When it says any animal is dangerous, that has to be taken effect. When you delay, the people turn anti-wildlife. Now, this operation of man-eating tigress T1 Avni, which went on for 3 years, a consequence of that was, when after T1 was eliminated, when another tigress entered this area and she walked into a cave, and someone locally noticed that, they closed that cave from outside and burnt her alive. And when she was retrieved and a post-mortem done, there were 4 unborn cubs were found. So, delaying one operation, we lost 5 tigers. So these things have to be taken into consideration. The local communities are the people who coexist with wildlife because they are poor. I have seen them when I work on the field. I have seen the poverty level. They work the whole day to get a meal at night. So because they are voiceless, please, you cannot compromise and take things for granted. If you want to preserve your wildlife, if you want tigers to flourish, make them the first beneficiary. Take the example of any tiger reserve where tourism happens. If whatever you generate from there, you share it with the community. Let them know that when a forest flourishes, when the tigers are healthy, when they are protected, they benefit from it. You make 1 lakh rupees profit, government makes 1 lakh rupee profit, share 10,000 rupees with them. Let them be the first beneficiary. But if you don't do that, if you don't take care of the local communities, if you have situations which prolong forever, then we are going to be in trouble. All our effort, all our ambition, all the objective of protecting the tiger is all going to go haywire. So this is a very important message, and which has to be taken into consideration. And my appeal is to the government that they should keep the interest of people in mind and take things forward hereafter. Then I would like to also share with you another incident of another tigress, again back in Maharashtra, which was known as C1. See, every tiger is given a number. C1, C2, C3 was cub 1, cub 2, cub 3, and their mother T27. They were also in a similar situation. They were not in a tiger reserve. It was a mix of human habitation and forest. And then this C1 became a man-eater, and she started attacking people, killing people. And then capture efforts couldn't work out. And when we were called in, we went and rescued her. We tranquilized her and safely moved her to the rescue center. But when the NGOs insisted that she should be released back in the forest, she was released. She came back and again started killing people. Again, there was breakdown of law and order. And finally, she came in contact with a live wire, 220 volts, and she got electrocuted. Now, why that live wire was put was again because of negligence. Local communities, their crops were raided by wild boar. They couldn't protect it, and they had to put this live wire. So my only submission time and again is that you have to go ground realities. Whatever policies are there, that have to be in tune. When I go and work on the field, I go to the huts, the people, I sit and eat with them. That's where we get the confidence. That's where I get the support. That's what makes all the difference. Thank you.